No, so it's 100% true. Ray Meach has a great point. We gotta get Ray on here. He's like a philosopher of the game of basketball.
We know you a busy man, Kobe, so we gonna jump right to it, man.
Now it's about making sure that
I'm sick and sick with it, vision and lift it. Listen, just picture it, spit and deliver it. The time froze, undercurrent, how the grind flows. Wrist flicking, said the bezels, got a mind blown. You know how to drop beat, everything slow. You know how to drop beat, said anything goes. Pull up to the spot, you might see the squad there. Pull up unannounced, then you might see a broad there. It's just seconds remaining, and I got the rock for the win while you're watching the shot clock. It's just seconds remaining, and I got the rock for the win. Thanks for watching the shot clock. The shot clock. You catch the shot clock every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Hey man, what's going on, everybody, man? G-Day Hoop Scout, man. Shot30Clock, man. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here. Well, it's been 2 weeks. Didn't do a show last Monday. Let me move my microphone over. Okay. Didn't do a show last Monday. Monday. Everybody was just kind of really getting back. Either like around midnight or like I got back at like 3:30 in the morning. Monday. So by the time I got caught up on sleep, wasn't able to do it. And I was going to do a show on Tuesday. But everybody was kind of busy. So just like we'll wait until after the second live period is done. And that's what brings us here today. Second live period in July is over with. I'm saying it. Grassroots season is officially closed. Now I know there'll still be some tournaments going on here and there around the way, but for the most part, it's grassroots basketball season is over. So that will leave us with a show next Monday, which I'm going to try to get directors on for various programs, independent as well as some shoe circuit teams. Everybody just do like a little 10-minute segment rundown. Gonna try my hardest to get representation from various teams to pop up, speak about how their grassroots season was. Dialogue a little bit, man, have a conversation, and then we go from there. And then after that, we would close the show out on July the 30th, which will be a Sunday. Just kind of giving our little final thoughts here and there. And then for the month of August, we off, and then we're back to every Sunday, beginning with that first Sunday in September. We'll be back Sundays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. On Sundays, we'll do a lot of pre-high school basketball stuff. And so it should be fun, should be entertaining. It should be a really good show, man. Not expecting for a lot of people to hop on today as far as like viewers. We'll get the numbers up on the rewatch of the show, but I know during the live right now, I know a lot of people is tired. They're resting. I'm tired as well. But I mean, I'm caught up on my sleep though. This past weekend, I was at Buff's event, the stage up in Dallas. I had a fun time. It was a great experience. Got to take my daughter with me. It's the first time, taking her on a business trip, letting her see the ins and outs, things that I do, how I interact with the college coaches, event directors, teams, even teams who I'm working for are hired to do work for as far as filming. And so, she got to see the ins and outs of that. So it was cool having her along. I think her favorite part of the trip was, going out to eat every night. And then, even the hospitality room. Shout out to Buffington and his family and everybody else who held it down. Um, she was like, "Y'all, you get to like get waters and drinks for free, and this for free and that for free." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But we don't, we don't overdo it. We just take a little bit, just to show our appreciation for them having us there because they don't have to do that. They don't have to have a hospitality room for coaches or for media people to kind of keep them nourished while they're there to do work for 8 to 10 hours throughout the day, um, watching game, taking their notes, making their evaluations. Um, that's not something that's normal. It's something that's very courteous in the South, I would say, but it's not normal because for the live periods that I was at this year and even last year, um, in Louisville, Kentucky, um, went to a live period in Indianapolis twice. Um, Atlanta, Georgia, went to a live period in Atlanta, Georgia, went to a live period in Milwaukee, went to a live period in Cincinnati, and they didn't have no hospitality rooms. And I know that, Atlanta is the South, but it ain't, like Texas South. Um, but no hospitality rooms. And to even hear coaches, like college coaches, like, dang, no hospitality room, dang, we can't even get a discount, at because a lot of those places don't even have concessions either because they're done at really big venues. So you have like other venues who they're selling food, and so those people who owned certain businesses, food trucks, and stuff like that, when they're at events that's at a big venue, and so you need multiple different, you know, vendors like food vendors. They're going to charge you their price, maybe a little bit extra because they know that you're not really about to go get in your car and then go drive a couple miles away and then come all the way back, and especially if you had a good parking spot and lose your parking spot. So you're just gonna buy this food right here. But coaches, just even we'll go with this year alone, Indianapolis. No, there was no hospitality room. With their coaches, kind of complain a little bit. But not even more so on the hospitality room aspect, but more so on like, dang, can we get like some type of a discount on the food? We here all day, watching these kids. Because if I leave, I'm done. I'm done for the day. No hospitality room in Louisville. No hospitality room in Cincinnati. This weekend was up in Dallas, hospitality room. I'm sure that Hicks had hospitality room here in Houston, his event for college coaches and media. I'm sure Sloan had a hospitality room at his event for college coaches and for media. Even during the high school season at your tournaments, your events, Cy-Fair, the Cy Hoops Invitational, the Texas Invitational done by Pasadena, the Katy round. They did like a round robin this year, but normally the KDISD tournament, still the same thing. Lamar Consolidated tournament, same like that's in the South. It's just hospitable to feed the workers, your coaches, media, the people who's going to be working the tables, people who's working the doors. You get to see these people. They want to make sure they're fed and well taken care of. So that they enjoy their time being there and that they want to come back. So I think that's what one of the aspects that my daughter really liked the most this past weekend was the hospitality room. Like I said, this was her first time coming with me on a business trip, and she enjoyed the hospitality room, she didn't overdo it. She just couldn't believe that I was able to get like free Gatorade, free water. I think she got like a Sprite. They had like cookies, all that other stuff. They had some type of barbecue sandwich that was off the chain. I think it was like sausage, brisket, pulled pork. It was like all mixed together, different meats. It was really good. And so she enjoyed that aspect. Also I made her do a little work. That wasn't really the intentions, but I made her, hold the camera, record a little bit, take a picture here and there, just so that she could understand that the reward from the hospitality room is you working. So I wanted to instill that also, but it was a good time. It was fun. Got to see some new faces for me. Kids who really, really hooped, man. It was good to be in the gym. As always, I know that it was the last live period, so I know a lot of kids were dead tired. Like you could tell, legs were shot, were gone. A lot of kids still had the motor, like the will, like I want to do this, but they just couldn't move the way that they normally would move. And just even listening to the college coaches talk, like, there was two coaches who I was standing in between. One was up top and we just was watching the game. It was like, man, these kids is dead tired, but this is the part that we've come to watch, to see who is willing to push through, who is not going to give up, who's going to keep going hard, at who's going to keep going at 1,000 miles per hour, who's going to run through this brick wall, who's taking the charges when they're dead tired, who's doing the little extra stuff. These are the things that they're watching. They kind of already know who their targets are, kids that they're going to offer already. But now we're watching the intangibles, the little things when you're dead tired, and they knew that and they understood that, but they didn't want to see the kids quit or the kids give up. And so there was some players who did give up. There were some. You could just tell. They didn't. Their fight wasn't in it, and so we can't sit here and complain and say that the college coaches aren't recruiting the high school level the way that they was. And although there may be some truth in that, but at the same time, these college kids got to be. I mean, these high school kids got to be a little bit more hungry. They got to want it a little bit more. They got to be willing to run through that brick wall, when they tired. When you come to that dead end, but you see that there's no more pavement, but you can see land straight in front of you. You got to learn how to build your own road from that dead end and keep it going. You got to learn how to, pave your own path through it. You just got to be tough. And so what was able to be seen this weekend was, I don't want to say a lack of toughness, but it just wasn't the same fight that you've seen in the April live periods. And then in events in May, I wasn't able to attend TABC, but I heard like kids, laid it all on the line. I know last weekend, especially for like your EYBL programs who were at Peach Jam, you're there for almost 10 days. And you're there playing basketball even before the live period begins. So they was there from July 2nd to the 10th, I want to say. So a lot of teams, they was there getting it in. And so yes, people get tired. You had a Adidas championship the weekend before. You had the Under Armour championships the weekend before. Next Pro, their Pro 16, 15, and 16 championships was the week before. 17 championship was this weekend. I know, like NYCHA LA championships was this weekend. So just it's a lot of wear and tear on the body that a lot of kids aren't built for. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing personal or nothing like that, but we just have to develop better work habits and become more consistent and become just a little bit more tougher mentally. And I think everything else will work itself out. everything else will be okay. What's going on, Mr. Aviles? Everybody else is out there who's tuned in as of right now, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. At any time, y'all can jump in the comment section. If you are on the Twitter side watching, you to be able for us to be able to see your comments and put them on the screen, like how I'm about to put Mr. Aviles comments on the screen. You have to jump over to either Facebook or the YouTube. YouTube Ball So Hard TV. Facebook Ball So Hard SS. That way I could be able to see your comments and we can interact with you as well, man. Once again, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate I'm gonna just throw that at the bottom of the screen. Appreciate everybody throughout just this whole entire season who've watched, who took in some of the nuggets that we said, applied them. Multiple people have came up to not just me, but people who are also on here. The Baller Plug, Rob, D King, Doug, and talked about stuff on the show. Or introduced themselves like, man, hey man, I watch you on the show, blah blah blah. And so we appreciate all of y'all. We appreciate all the good comments. We appreciate all the negative comments. We appreciate all of it. We're gonna just continue to try to do our best as far as bringing you information of high school basketball and grassroots basketball in the spring. I know the high school segment, especially around October through January, that's when our numbers are huge. And we appreciate that. The first 2 weeks of grassroots season, the number are huge too. Like right after the icebreaker. So the first week and you got icebreaker, and the week after is huge. Then after that, we kind of get a little drop off. But we still appreciate everybody who tunes in, who shares the show, who watches it, gives us feedback, emails, phone calls, stop us in person, all of that, man. We appreciate all of that. We thank y'all for tuning in always, man. Yes, sir. I seen that. Mr. Vilas, I seen that Trey Murphy will be joining Alejandro. That's what's up, man. Happy for him. Hope that he does. Hope that he does well. I do. It's going to be a big loss for Yates High School, but we'll see what they do this season. So y'all gotta come back when we start talking all that preseason stuff and start doing our preseason picks of districts and all that fun stuff that gets all the coaches all up in the uproar, players in the uproar, moms and dads in the uproar, man. We love that, man. Mr. Dudes, what's going on? Man, I wish a couple of my co-conspirators, my co-hosts would hop on. But I know that, Tyre, D King, back-to-back weekend of Pro 16 championships. I know the Plug just came back from Vegas, so he was at Peach Jam for those 9 to 10 days. Then hopped right over to Vegas. Hit up NBA Summer League. And he should be back too. But yeah, shout out to Trey Murphy, man. Wish him the best. I truly do, man. I'm sure Alejandro will take good care of him and get him, up to speed with everything that's going on down there in Phoenix, Arizona. Big takeaways from live periods. We can't say that the college coaches aren't present because they're there. They're in the building and they're watching. And not even and it's not about necessarily you even traveling. So, I hear this a lot. There's no need for you to, leave the state of Texas for a live period when, Texas has, I don't even know the number of scholarship Division I and Division II schools that's all together. But that's something that people say all the time. But I will say this: some of the same teams that I seen, like universities that I seen in Cincinnati, who did their homework and took their notes on those Texas kids, they were in Texas this weekend once they found out where the kids are playing. And so, my bad, I'm shaking the screen. I'm trying to kill this spider. Got him. And so, they will come and find you if you perform well enough in front of them, and they get on the phone, or if it's an assistant, they get on the phone, they make a phone call, and if it's an assistant that talks you up so much that he gets his head coach to leave whatever event he was at to come and see you, and then the head coach comes back to see you the following weekend, that means you did something good enough, to not only just get on their radar, but for them to be super interested in you and ready, prepared to offer you a scholarship when you have the head coach, sitting courtside for your games. And so got to see that. So, the local teams get to see you a lot, and they don't pull the trigger per se. So then you have to go to what's the next best thing. I gotta be seen. I'm going somewhere else to be seen, because if I'm being seen by all the local teams, but they're still not pulling the trigger, then I'm gonna go somewhere else to be seen. So then when those other schools start pulling triggers, you just know that yes, you have that same opportunity as everyone else. And we also have to learn that everything is not just about quote unquote the best player, but it's about what's fit and what position fits and what do I need. So every college needs something different. They all don't need the same thing. So I may need a pure point guard, like just a point guard who's really good at breaking down defense, who's playing really good on ball defense, and who's just a really good passer, and he can still shoot. He can still shoot at a high percentage. But a point guard who's going to come in and be that fourth or fifth option within my system, as far as getting ready to take a shot, because I want him to be able to break down defenses. I want him to be able to, what I mean by that, cause defenses to collapse, make the right kicks, make the right reads, be really good in pick and rolls, really good live passer. A lot of point guards are not good live passers. A lot of point guards do not know how to feed the post. Just a lot of people don't even know how to pass into the post correctly. Who makes really good post entry passes? Who can read the defense really well. So this is maybe what I'm looking for. So I may offer these certain kids, and you may be like, "Oh man, my son is better than him," or "So and so better than him." So and so even ranked higher than him. So how's he getting that offer? How's he getting this? How's he getting? It's about what I need as a college coach or as a university, or And so if this is what I need and this kid fits, and it makes sense, then why not? There's no need for us to hate on one another, because everybody's chasing the same goal. And so that makes it even more tough that everybody's chasing the same exact thing. Everybody's chasing a scholarship, but there's only so many that can go out. Everybody can't get one. Everybody doesn't have that chance, which brings me up to, a lot of what I've been seeing on Twitter. Grassroots season, like I said, came to a close. And coaches did not wait, boy. Sunday, after their final game, coaches were going in from all from programs from all over the state of Texas. I've seen it. I follow a lot of teams who still in Illinois, Indiana, St. Louis area as well. Seeing a lot of those coaches too posting stuff. Listen, nothing in life is fair. Nothing in life is easy. So if nothing in life is fair and nothing in life is easy, what makes you think that basketball would be fair and that basketball would be easy? It's not. It was never designed that way. It was never meant to be easy. If it was, then everybody would do it. Everybody would play and everybody would go to college. But that's just not reality. However, yes, you are playing to try to obtain a college scholarship, but just because you are playing and you're trying, keyword is trying. I'm trying to obtain the college scholarship. There's no guarantee. I'm trying. It's an attempt. So you can't be upset. You can't be mad if you do not get that opportunity, because maybe your efforts or maybe what you bring to the table, or maybe you as a player, you're just not good enough. And that's okay. It's okay to tell kids that you're just not good enough to go to this level. And it's okay to also have a team full of kids who just want to play for fun, who want to stay out of some trouble, have something to do for the summertime. That don't mean you got to travel across the country with those kids. You ain't even got to travel across the state. You can stay at home. You can play in a live period locally, or whichever is the closest to you, and still have what is considered to be a good or successful season, because in those kids, they have fun. Maybe you just help the kid stay out of trouble. Maybe he hangs out with a lot of people who don't play sports. You don't know what type of upbringing a lot of these kids deal with, their daily day life just outside of basketball. And so you could be saving the kid from something just by being there, by being a mentor, by being a coach, um, teaching him the game of basketball, keeping his mind busy, keeping him busy, holding him accountable, just as a player. So everybody doesn't get the scholarship, and that's okay. And so, but we can't say that, grassroots basketball is not fair, because nobody ever said it was. And if that's the reason why you got into the business, then you got in for the wrong reasons. Nothing's fair, nothing's easy. It's all about hard work, dedication, and sacrifices. And I understand that a lot of sacrifices are made financially on parent side, as well as a lot of these coaches who put their time into kids or into situations, getting them in tournaments, doing all this stuff, taking time out of my day, doing this, that, and the other. That's just the gamble that you have to be willing to take. Um, Listen, with everybody, people who go to Vegas or casinos or wherever they go, when you gamble, you you don't always win. So once again, another life. Like, there's so many things that you could take just from life itself and apply it in whatever space you want to. It don't have to necessarily be basketball. It could be in the business realm. It could be in the education sector. It could be football, baseball, whatever sport you want, whatever hobby you're interested into. There's always some type of gamble and sacrifice. But just because you make the gamble, don't always mean you're going to get the reward. And just because you make the sacrifice doesn't mean the outcome is going to be what you want it to be. That's just it, man. Mr. Duke said, aside from effort on both ends, this is a good question. I'm going to put it on the screen. He said, aside from efforts on both ends, what do you hear college coaches want these kids to do more? Kind of like I said, Mr. Dukes, a lot of these coaches, and I'm going to speak from the beginning of the live periods. So, April. In April, some coaches already kind of know who they're targeting. Already. They already know who they're targeting. But for those who are just in the gym or just happen to catch a kid who they weren't targeting, they have to stand out. You have to be special. You have to do something that nobody else in that gym is doing at that time if you're not on the coach's radar, or when you are playing against a team that a coach is there to watch, or other coaches are there to watch because this team is a reputable team. It doesn't necessarily have to be, and I want to use that word because I want to get away from the circuits. So I'm talking about independent basketball. You're playing on an independent scene. You're playing at a Gasso, wherever. I'll use that as an example because that's what a lot of people know down here in Texas. So you're at a Gasso in April. And so you're on the independent scene. And if there's a reputable team, so that means a team who normally puts a kid in college every year, a scholarship player, whether it's D1 or D2, but every year they get one, or maybe they get two every year, one or two every year from this program. And so if you're playing against that program that has that type of reputation, where coaches are just coming because they know, okay, these AAU guys in this program know how to go out and recruit, or they know how to go out and kind of find some gems, like hidden gems, GEMS. Go out and find some hidden gems and bring them to this team. Nobody knows them. I'm just coming just because off the reputation of this program, and I'm coming to check them out. And so now that I'm here and I see, oh man, they done found another kid. It's another kid for me to put on my radar. But they playing against the G-Day All-Stars, and I have a kid, and he's just dominating that game. And now the coach is like, oh man, let me go see when G-Day All-Stars play again. And then they come watch me again. And that same kid, Melvin Dews the fifth, is still kicking ass. Oh man, that's twice in a row, man. This could be an assistant. We'll say it's the second assistant. So after that live period, he goes back. Hey man, this kid, Melvin Dews the fifth, man, he's the truth. He's legit. Man, he does XYZ, everything that we need, blah, blah, blah. High motor guy, very team oriented. He was a leader on the floor. He was talking. He was he contested shots, made him look easy, blah, blah, blah. So now the head assistant comes to the next live period. So that was the first weekend. This is the second weekend of April. The head assistant comes. And Melvin Dews the fifth is still cooking. He's still cooking. So then this coach goes back. Hey, coach, I know I have, the power to offer, to give kids a scholarship offer. I think we should offer this kid. And head coach, you really need to go see him in June at the TABC. And so, Melvin Dews the fifth with his team, high school team at TABC. He's playing okay. He's not playing as good as he played, those first two live periods. He's just playing okay. It's not really hitting the way that it was hitting before. And so the head coach is just like, oh man, I don't know about this kid, man. This kid is, we see these kids all over the place, man. He's good, but it's just nothing that stands out about him. Like, the coach is like, man, coach, maybe he just had having a bad weekend. And he still was productive though. Still played good. But this good just wasn't good enough for the head coach. Boom, July hits. Once again, the coach like, I'm still gonna give him a chance. Still gonna give him a chance. But that first July weekend, let's say the second assistant is back. Again, it's not the head coach, but he's on the board. He's on that recruiting board. And so Melvin Dews the fifth, he plays really good. Like, he's amazing. And then it's like, okay, head coach, like, okay, last live period, I'm gonna come check him out because EYBL's over, Adidas is over, UAA is over. So I'm gonna come check him out. Last live period, Melvin Dews the fifth is dead tired. The assistants already know what he could do. The head coach has seen him once or twice, we'll say, at TABC. And he's seen he's good, but he just didn't move the needle the way that the assistants was telling him. But he could tell he's dead tired, but he's still running through that wall. He's still playing with the high motor, even though his legs don't want to go. In his mind, he's pushing himself. He's still scoring, maybe not as a high of a rate that he was before. And so the head coach starts to see, like, okay, this kid really wants it, and he's pushing, and he's battling, against these. Let's say you're playing shoe teams now. You're playing a reputable team before who's known to put a kid in college. Now you're playing shoe teams who put 4 to 5 kids a year in college. So we want to dispel that also, that everybody that plays on the EYBL, that plays 3SSB, or plays UAA, they all them kids go to college on scholarship. That is not true. Every single kid on their roster do not always earn scholarships. So we'll stick with the 4 to 5 kid average, just on an average. So he's playing against let's say that Bradley Bill Elite's in town. We have Buff, so we'll use Buff event because that's where I was just at. So we got Bradley Bill Elite on the schedule, EYBL, St. Louis, Missouri. We got New World on the schedule, who's 3SSB from DC, Washington, DC, that is. And then we got KC Run GMC on the schedule, who's Under Armour, team out of Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. So we got 3 teams from 3 different circuits. They all at least have 3 or 4 kids who already have D1 scholarships. And then Melvin Dukes the 5th goes out there and he's still scoring 15 to 20 points, grabbing 7 to 9 rebounds a game, blocking shots. He's still defending. He just looks a little slower because he's tired, but he's still pushing. He's still being vocal. It shows this is showing out his work ethic and all that other stuff. And so now we need to bring this kid in on an official visit. And we need to really try to lock this kid in. They just want to see you push through, Mr. Dukes. They want to see you fight for it. They want you to want the scholarship. They don't want your parents to want to. They already know. I'm gonna hear your parents' mouth hollering, screaming every time you make a bucket. Not all parents are like that, but just we'll say 70% of parents, every time their kid hit a bucket, you know whose kid that is. Every time the kid block a shot, steal a basketball, dunk on some, whatever it is, you know who that kid, you know who their parents usually are 70% of the time. Some parents just sit there and it's quiet. There was a mom, even like I was talking with Buff and excuse me. I was talking with Buff and I was talking with Glenn Smith, Hoop Fest, the guy who does Hoop Fest. We were sitting there watching the game. I was filming, but it was halftime. Was talking, and we just seen a parent, and both like, man, look, she ain't even parent. She just read. She read the book the whole game. Some parents, they just there physically to support their kids from the physical standpoint. Like she read a book the whole game. Like she wasn't even paying attention to the game. So she probably more interested in the education realm of schooling than necessarily playing the sport to go to school. But yeah, they just want to see you once they see that you are good enough to play and you fit whatever need it is that they have, because I can't tell you what they need, because every year schools need something different. And then you have transfer portal come up. And so then if a kid leaves who I wasn't expecting to leave my program, if he leaves to go somewhere else, okay, now that's another need I got to fill. At first, I wasn't even going to have to fill that need. So the first 2 live periods, he was locked in, telling me he's coming back to school. Yeah, coach, I'm coming back to University of Boston Hard next year, blah, blah, blah. This kid was maybe the 6th man. And so next year he's probably going to be a starter because we lost 2 seniors. So we already looking at him just to start the season off as a starter, at Boston Hard University. He's going to be one of the main guys. He knows the system. He's been with us for 2 seasons. He knows he knows what our expectations are as coaches, blah, 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 knows what the university stands for, knows how we are as a basketball program, culture, all that. He knows all that. And so we know him. We're excited he's coming back. So now we don't have to worry about trying to recruit nobody. May rolls around. This kid decides he's leaving. Something happened to family, blah, blah, blah. He's leaving. He's transferring to another school closer to home or whatever. It's always a different reason, always a different scenario. This kid's leaving. That leaves a hole. We go looking. The JUCO has nothing. Nothing there. So we got to go. I got at the high school level. Like I need a kid. Like this kid just left. Oh man, what happened? Man, I'm froze, y'all. Where Rob when I need him, man? Usually Rob is the one who's froze. I was froze. My bad, y'all, man. Normally it's Rob. See, Rob ain't on here. Rob done transferred his Wi-Fi to me, man. I done froze up for a minute. But no, they just want to see your fight at the end of the day, Mr. Dudes. That they want to see you fight, man. They want to see you fight through it. If I already know that you're good enough, now I want to see you when you are against that tough competition, when you're dead tired, when your back's against the wall. I want to see your fight. I want to see how you handle that adversity. I want to see if you're willing to push yourself. If you are, and you're good enough to be in my program, and you already fit what we need, then I'm going to fight to try to get you to get here, to get you to come to my school. So you have to be worth my fight. If you're not willing to fight, I'm not going to fight for you. It's a great way to look at it. And so different schools need different things. Every school don't need the same thing. But whatever it is that you as a basketball player are good at, become great at that. Don't just be good, but become great at whatever it is that you bring to the table. Become great at that. And everything else, should work out for you. Every kid is not Division 1. Every kid is not D2. And there's nothing wrong with going to a Division 3 school. There's nothing wrong with going to an AIA school. Or if you even got to go to JUCO route, there's nothing wrong with that either. But whichever way you go, it's going to be a fight once you get in there. But you got to be willing to fight to be able to not just obtain the scholarship, but to sustain the scholarship also. You got to be able to keep it. Scholarships are only year to year. They're not guaranteed for 4 years. So every year it's a new fight. But live period was fun. I wasn't as excited at first about the Texas Invitational, but I'm kind of excited, man. It's a kid that I want to go see, named Trent Payne. He goes to Allen High School. He plays for Urban DFW 16U. This kid is tough. Super tough, man. So excited to see this. Excited to see the Texas Invitational that takes place on the second week of high school basketball season. That's Adena area. Interested to see matchup Allen High School against. I would really like to see them against like an Atascocita. Oh dang, man, I'm freezing up again. All right, I'm good. I'm back. Here we go. What's going on, Mr. Adler, man? Dang, man. See, Rob normally be freezing up the internet, man. So we need Rob to come on so I can stop freezing up. We need Rob to be able to wonder who frees up the show. But yeah, no, good live period, man. A lot of kids left it all on the floor. That's all that we can ask for, as an evaluator. A lot of those coaches who was there, they were already there for specific players. So in that final live period, you really had to be special. If you weren't already on their list. And so I seen coaches circling a couple of guys or, writing little marks, by guys. If they was on their list or not on their list, I can't say. I can say that about 2 of the schools though. But they both were D2s. Emporia State out of Kansas, as well as Dallas Baptist. Because I was talking to them about a couple of kids that they wrote down. None of the kids are from Houston area, but just a couple of kids, like, just being inquisitive, like, oh, what's that little mark mean? You know, what's this mean? What's that mean? Um, you know, just trying to see what they see how they do things, man. I like to have insight on how the college coaches do things. You know, everybody has their own little system set up. So if their book is open, that another coach may not necessarily know, who's from the same conference, may not necessarily know exactly what that little mark means to them. You know, it could just be they could put a question mark, but that question mark may mean something totally different, may mean something totally opposite of what the other coach thinking. You know, the other coach thinking, oh man, maybe he just want to go watch his kid some more. That question mark could mean something totally different. It just can't. Exclamation point, asterisks, underlined, circled. They all can have a different meaning for every different university and serve a different purpose, man. No, Mr. Allen, I'm not at Rob house, man. Rob probably sleeps somewhere right now. I know everybody else is tired, but Rob is probably tired, super tired. He probably sleep. But it was good seeing you this weekend. Also, man, excited to see what type of senior season that Chris has. So that kind of segues me into that. Like for a lot of those kids who didn't get an offer yet, go out and have a phenomenal senior campaign. That phenomenal senior campaign may not land you a Division I or D2, but it can still land you somewhere at a high academic Division III school, or even an NAIA. NAIAs can offer scholarships, so it can still land you somewhere. And don't shit on the colleges either, no matter what level it is. You know, talk to everybody with respect. Give everybody the opportunity to recruit you, because if you were, how can I word this? If you were a D1 kid, then you would already have the D1 offers. Or you already have those JUCO offers, or those JUCO coaches would already be calling you, because you know it's my job as a junior college to be able to produce Division I, Division II kids at a good rate. So if you're that kind of that, I don't know, but that JUCO coach, man, he just need maybe a year or two. You know, don't shit on the JUCO coaches either. You know, D2s, they want to try to recruit the mid-major to low-major D1 players. That's who they kind of target. You know, the D3s kind of target the D2. Same thing with like NAIAs. You have like two different levels of NA. So a lot of your like up north NAIAs in Kansas area NAIAs, they like to try to recruit those low major D1s to D2 type prospects. They try to, get them. And then you have the other NAIAs who try to recruit, the D2 level area, D2 level kids also. And a lot of these teams, they beat up on it. There's a lot of NAIA teams that beat D2s. There's D2s who beat D1s. And so, I mean, it's all about fit. It is.
We locked in here.
It's all about fit. I'll get it in a minute. And so it's all about fit. And also, this is a good. We said this many times. I'm glad Mr. Dews brought it up also, because that D3 assistant can become a D1 assistant tomorrow, and that D1 assistant tomorrow can become that D1 head coach next week. That's true. So you can't be looking down your nose at the smaller schools, because you never know. That coach may take you along the ride with them. And we've seen that this year. Florida Atlantic University made it to the Final Four. That coach was a Division II coach the year before, and he brought 3 of his players with him. He brought 3 of those D2 kids with him to the D1 level who said they was never D1 players, but because he loved those kids and he would go to war with those kids over anybody else, he did. And he showed people, look, these are kids that nobody wanted. I took a chance on them. I gave them scholarship opportunities when I was at the D2 school. Now I got hired this D1. I brought them with me, and we did something the school's never done in history, and we went to the Final Four with my top 3 players being Division II players. So, we can't look down on the levels either, because I know everybody wants their kid to be D1. Look, when you graduate, when you get that certificate, it don't say D1. It just says University of or such and such college. That's what it says. It doesn't say D1, D2, D3, NAIA. It just says whatever the name of the higher learning institute is.
Or bring me a knife.
But I appreciate everybody once again for tuning in. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all the feedback that we've gotten throughout the whole season. Like I said, next week, going to try to get a lot of program directors or, just coaches affiliated with programs on, kind of talk about their season a little bit. And then we'll wrap up the weekend after that weekend. And then we'll be off for August, then back at it September for preseason high school basketball, man. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. This is the Shot30Clock. Until next time, hey, y'all pay it forward. Y'all be safe. Say some kind words to somebody, man. Say something nice. Do something nice for somebody. Till next time, I'm out.